It's time to unclog the Nintendo pipeline. Each week we take our plungers and stick them deep into the Nintendo's pipes and unclog item after item to discover what is going on in the world of Mario and friends. This week we have 9 pipe plug-in news bits that need to be dealt with. If you're listening to this snippet, you can listen to the whole show on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, and more by searching for Koppai Podcast. So yeah, 9 bits of news. Number 1, happy 127th birthday, Nintendo.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
You said we had to do it like a lot quicker, like when we did our Reggie one.
Yeah, that was...
You're like, we did it too slow. We had to do it like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, well, remember the good old days at Impact where it would be like, this is your birthday song. It isn't very long. And it was like, oh, nice.
No, all I remember about that was Chris hated birthdays or something. He was like, what's the point about birthdays?
What's the deal with birthdays, huh?
It's just the day you were born.
Speaking of days they were born, Nintendo was born out of a little womb, out of, Yamauchi's womb. He just popped on out between the legs.
Miyamoto's great-great-grandpa.
On September 23rd, so just a few days ago, 1889. Very good-looking year. Very clean.
Yeah.
Like a nice-looking date, September 23rd, 1889.
100 years before I was born.
Crazy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, 127. We don't really see, people over here complaining about Metroid not getting its 30th anniversary celebration. Where's the celebration for 127 years of Nintendo? Like, you don't see that?
Yeah, where was the NX reveal?
Yeah.
Is what I was wondering.
That's actually a good point. That would have been, they've missed so many opportunities in September. September 13th would have been perfect because that's when they revealed the controller for the Wii U. Or the Wii U, the original Wii, and then like they showed off like the Wii U gamepad, like Nintendo Land and stuff. And then Tokyo Game Show would have been perfect, and then September 23rd would have been perfect. Yeah, they've completely kerfuddled that. But yeah, happy birthday, Nintendo. A lot of people don't realize how old Nintendo is. We could get into the deep history of Nintendo and their card-playing game, originally called Nintendo Koppai, which is where we get the name of our show.
People are always so shocked when it's like, Nintendo's like over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Like, no, what? No.
You're lying to me.
Like 5 years old.
5 years old when the Wii came out. Number 2, we will talk about this in the topic of the show. We may have the exact detail. Oh, wait, okay. I'm sorry, I'm reading the notes and there's just a weird comma there in the points. We'll talk about this more in the topic of the show, but we may have some of the exact details on the Nintendo NX. Foxconn, a very a pretty good source, who have accurately leaked other hardware in the past, most recently the PlayStation Pro, have revealed specific details on the NX, along with some sketches of the new console. But hold up. Before we go any farther, we gotta know that we did some deep digging. We unclogged some pipes. We sucked them up deep. And there is some sort of controversy going on here, particularly surrounding the sketches drawn. It's still possible that it's just possible this could all be fake. However, due to many saying that this is credible and it seems probable, we feel we should discuss it as a possibility while we endure the long wait for the official reveal. Essentially, Nintendo has taken way too long to reveal this thing, and it could just have blown out of the water by Foxconn. And with the exception of a real picture of the device and knowing what the actual games are coming, we pretty much know everything else. And so, if this happens to not be true, they don't have much time. I don't get exactly what you meant with this in the notes. But, like, if this isn't true, it's gonna be true soon anyway. Like, people are just gonna start making it real.
No, what I meant was that Foxconn could have just blown it out of the water, and if they didn't, then Nintendo doesn't have much time before somebody does
Okay.
blow it out of the water. Somebody does leak it all and just expose it all.
Although, I was listening, I don't know what podcast I was listening to the other day where they're talking about Miyamoto at the Apple conference. Mm-hmm. That was such a well-kept secret. Like, who saw that coming? And it's not like we didn't know anything about mobile information before. Like Nintendo had put out all this other mobile information, but they kept this one huge thing secret in their back pocket, even to the point of like no one even saw Miyamoto in San Francisco. So like they
I guess that's a good point, the San Francisco thing. But I mean, they keep like we don't have no idea what the next big 3D Mario project is. Most of their projects are pretty well kept under wraps. I mean, for
that's
the
what I'm
longest
saying.
time,
It's like
Sun and Moon was like
they could be doing a bait and
huge
switch right now.
Yeah, but I'm wondering because the NX is like actual physical hardware and they're doing some of these, I don't know how they're revealing it to people, but it seems like dev kits are getting out. Like we had reported last week about the hack, handheld and console thing being posted, developer kit online, or the source code or something for that was released to indie developers, and people are starting to see it. Ubisoft, we'll talk about in the topic of the show, has seen it. And did I say Ubisoft?
I think you did. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So there's all that being said, there's tons to be excited for. We believe. But this is nice to get some even more solid confirmation on what the NX is. I personally believe that this Foxconn rumor, even to the sketch, is just completely 100% accurate. I think this is it. So just the way the PlayStation Pro was. So we also have word on a new patent that we'll be discussing further in the topic of the show. The fact that the NX is expecting to produce 10 million units per year, and as well as some words from the Ubisoft CEO and the CEO of the Pokemon Company who have confirmed that Pokemon games will be coming to the NX. But we just don't know the exact details of what types of games those Pokemon games will be. And so if you want to listen to that topic of the show and you're listening to the individual Nintendo Pipeline snippet here on YouTube, you can just head over to our main channel and listen to that topic of the show. Or if you're listening to the audio format podcast, just stay tuned because we'll be talking about that soon. Number 3, Color Splash had a preload fiasco. There were some preloaded copies that were able to be unlocked, and some lucky people are playing the game 2 weeks early. The option is no longer available, so you can't do it now. Sucks for you. However, you can still preload the game. You just can't play it. So
beware, spoilers can be out there.
Well, that always happens. People are GameStop employees are taking the retail copies, and Game Explain's making them in the freaking thumbnails. Final boss of Colors. People are doing that with the Destiny raid too this week. They're like, look at this sweet picture of the final boss and us standing over his dead body. I'm like, well, that okay. I don't know what goes through your head when you do that, but all right.
I think that Game Explain, to their credit, has backed off a bit.
I think they admitted that in like one of their discussions, like they don't do it, which is it's hard for them because like they want to make a good thumbnail that shows what's in their video, but it's just tricky when it's like, so yeah.
Well, yeah, because I don't have to shield my eyes, and I think I unsubscribed to them for a bit because it was like I just can't deal with that. And then finally,
they did it with Splatoon a lot. Splatoon, they posted
had to manually
so many pictures.
Yeah. And they, like, I remember when Captain Toad was coming out, they were posting the entire progress of that game, and it was like, alright, and now it's just kind of generic white thumbnail screenshots of
the game, promo art, concept art, and all that. So be on the lookout for Color Splash spoilers, and also just get hyped for the game. I hear people are having fun with it that did get it. People are loving it. It looks like it's going to be an awesome game. I'm super hyped. Speaking of the Wii U, though, number 4 is the Wii U Ending production, which gives us the title of this little snippet. Is this the last days of the Wii U, with Color Splash being the last game, and with production ending and the NX coming? We have a theme going on here. According to Europe, retailers will no longer be able to order Wii U consoles after October 1st. Is that gearing up for the NX? Are they trying to get rid of the Wii U stock? Is there just all this NX hype and the people aren't going to be buying the Wii U's? Is it all of that and above? Who knows? Either way, if you're one of those people that we talked about earlier that is playing these other games but doesn't have a Wii U or only have a 3DS, or I don't even know what the situation is, start saving up those dollar bills.
You're just listening, you love Nintendo, have no console whatsoever, you're just like...
Or maybe you don't like Nintendo, but you just like Zach and I.
Yeah.
It's like, I love...
It was just in your suggested videos, you're just some 70-year-old man that's retired and flipping through YouTube channels.
Listening.
Stumbled like, what is this? Up to Nintendo.
Oh, the last days
My
of the Wii U,
grandkids-
what does that mean? Is this like an end
My
times
computer's
prophecy?
talking to me. Why is my computer talking?
Oh man, moving on. Number 5, Mario Party Star Rush teaser website has been opened. So if you want to get teased by your computer about Mario Party Star Rush, you can head over there to mariopardystarrush.com. Pretty sure that's what it is. And if it's not,
Yeah.
Google it. You'll find it out. Number 6, Dragon Ball Fusions has received a release date for the West. In the US, it'll be December 13th. And in the EU, it'll be February 2017. So it's very hard to translate that game over to Europe. Europeans have some.
Just the case with Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, I don't.
Took 7 months.
I don't get those. Like
5 years to transfer it over here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Super hyped for that game though. Like, I want to get that. I want to get Xenoverse 1 and 2. Like, I just want to have a binge of Dragon Ball Z one day and just watch Dragon Ball Super, and play those games and just have nostalgia and go back, because we used to just eat that up. It was such a good show, such a good universe, and Dragon Ball Fusions looks like it'll be some portable fun. Speaking of portable fun, number 7, Super Mario Maker for the 3DS does not support 3D. Stereoscopic 3D, right? Stereoscopic?
Stereoscopic.
There you
I
go.
believe.
Yeah. Zach puts down here in the notes, duh. Yeah, pretty much a duh. When you, I mean, it's already pushing the power of the Wii U with how much it can load on one screen. And they've already admitted that some things won't be able to work. For it to have the 3D function as well, that'd be insane. And I think they're pushing how the NX is not going to have the 3D functionality, so they're kind of gearing up for that and kind of pulling people off the 3D kind of gimmick. And they also have the 2DS out there, which doesn't even get to have it, so it makes sense that they're kind of waning off that. It is weird, though, how many of these modern 3DS games don't have 3D. Like Pokemon, this one, I think there are some other, like Hyrule Warriors barely could do it if you're playing on the old 3DS. Like, it's not even 3D anymore. It's just a DS that is...
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about how mind-blowing that would be. That'd be insane if we've never seen Super Mario Bros. 1 or 3 or World, or I guess we have seen in New Super Mario Bros. 2 there was a bit of a 3D effect, but we haven't seen any of it. Right. And so we haven't seen many really 3D effect on those kind of 2D Mario games, with the exclusion of that one, which it was kind of lame.
Yeah.
And so that would be such a huge thing, and the game is already
Does NES Remix have 3D?
No.
Okay.
I was and that was one of the big things that made me not rush out to buy that, because I was really excited for that possibility.
Yeah.
And then when they said that it's not going to have that, I was like, what? I mean, what a missed opportunity, because you basically reconstructed these levels with all these new effects and stuff. It would seem like you'd be able to do something like that. But with the case of Mario Maker, I think that the game is already pushing, like we've talked about in the last episode, I think that hopefully they'll release updates that allow you to play some more levels that aren't compatible with it. But it seems, I mean, they're on the Wii U alone. I think that they're pushing how many things you can have on the screen at once, how many, mechanics and all these things you can use in your level. That's why they have a limit to how many enemies you can have down and how many blocks. So, I mean, I'm sure on the 3DS, just loading the levels alone is already taking up a lot of the processing. I mean, it took a lot to even have SNES games run at a decent rate on the new 3DS. And is Mario Maker 3DS just going to be? I mean, it's going to be across all 3DS platforms, so that's already kind of mind blowing, isn't it? Like to have something that has World when, I mean,
it's gonna be great.
So yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about the 3D. It's going to be awesome, and I'm super hyped for Super Mario 3DS. Super Mario Maker 3DS. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Can't wait to be able to be on the road, or like one of those vacations where there's a lot of time to pass, and it's
I'm going to use it more for downloading levels I think,
Right.
and making levels.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about those long rides where you can just have an endless.
Yeah. And it
Game
comes
of
with 100
yeah.
levels. Like, it's going to be it's like a whole new Mario game coming out. It's going to be so legit. Speaking of new things coming out, number 8, there's a new Zelda Fan Film trailer, which was released in the style of Studio Ghibli. Or Ghibli, or Hibli.
Hibli.
Or what is it? Fibli, if you pronounce it with the GH as if it was the, pronunciation from the word enough.
Studio Family.
Yeah.
See that one channel, that weird guy? G-Lie, B-Lie.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, the trailer looks pretty cool. You can go check it out. Very beautiful, very breathtaking. I guess you could say it took away my breath of the wild. Oh man, Zelda references, Nintendo, it's all fun. But yeah, really, I mean, it's nothing like, I mean, it's not like they're making a whole film in this. Maybe they are, maybe they decided to do it. I think it was more so like concept art that someone made, or like kind of like deviant art, and then they just happened to animate it to kind of fit into a trailer. But it's very beautiful, and if you don't know Studio Ghibli like they did, I think the art for I think the Ni no Kuni games and lots of other animated movies that are just very, very aesthetically pleasing. So go check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Number 9. Wait, what?
I was gonna say they're comparing the new Pokemon Sun and Moon style to Studio Fibli.
Yeah, Fibli.
Yeah, and the Ash's new style.
Oh yeah, I see that definitely.
The fluidity in this kind of
definitely
little style, simplicity that they have.
Yeah. I love their art style. I should make more games or do more art for games. I also want more animation from the Fire Emblem team. Those guys do some insane, mind-boggling animation. So
yeah, definitely.
Speaking though of arts and animation and everything, number 9, a new Kirby manga is coming out in October in Japan. Well, it's unlikely that we'll ever see it released here in the West, but maybe someone will be kind enough to do a translation. Or if you like, I mean, it's a manga, so it's going to be lots of art. If you can just use Google Translate and hold your phone up to the screen, you can translate it all. You can read it. You can figure it out.
And I mean, it's Kirby, so honestly, what kind of plot is really going to be happening?
I'd order it just to have it's kind of like an art book, you know? It's an art book of Kirby.
Oh, there's Kirby. He doesn't really talk, and there's Day-to-Day. He doesn't. Okay, and then he's sucking some stuff up, and they're fighting, and Kirby won.
Yep, it's probably what happened. Kirby's sucking all over the place, and power-ups and stuff.
Yeah, just enjoy the art,
they're really
enjoy
pushing,
the feel good.
They're pushing Kirby hardcore over there, like with the Kirby Cafe, the Kirby Manga, the Kirby Miitomo special going on.
The NX, we're gonna have Kirby as a launch.
What if
title.
the NX is just this big pink ball, and you just hold on to it, and you just feel good? It just kind of vibrates very warmly in your hands, and you're just like, this is... Like, that would explain all the quotes you hear from Ubisoft where they're like, this is truly special and very Nintendo.
Yeah, like, what if it also was like a pillow, some sort of thing, or it like went to bed with you?
It's the quality of life initiative
your heart
going on there, yeah.
Yeah, so that your Nintendo is always with you.
Yeah, so we'll do a sketch of it and we'll put that up and say this is the leaked NX.
So that everybody's like, I need a Nintendo because freaking not only does it play all these awesome games, but it also keeps me fit.
Yeah, you just put the CDs inside of the pillow case and it just plays them. One last thing, we don't have this in the official Nintendo or Koppai notes here, but to wrap up the Nintendo pipeline, I do want to return to a little bit of the previous pipelines that we've had, and someone left a comment on our news discussion. We were talking about Retro Studios, what they may be working on with the Nintendo NX and their new IP and Metroid in a celebration of the Metroid 30th anniversary. And so I want to address that real quick. Chariot Goblin over on YouTube left a comment and said, great episode. And then they left us a little bit of theory on what they think Retro Studios is working on. Quote, I have a feeling that Retro Studios is working on a new IP, not Metroid. For 3 reasons. Reason number 1, key members and designers of the Metroid Prime games have left to form Armature Studios. Very interesting. Number 2, I think Retro Studios has the talent and desire to create something new and not work on an existing IP. Before they got stuck on Metroid Prime, they were working on an ambitious action RPG for GameCube called Raven Blade, and they canceled it to work on Prime. So maybe we'll see Raven Blade with the NX. You heard it first from Chariot Goblin. And reason number 3, can you imagine during the NX reveal, Nintendo announcing/revealing a new, maybe mature IP coming from, quote, Retro Studios, the guys that brought you Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, end quote. I imagine this shining a whole new light on Retro Studios like what The Last of Us did for Naughty Dog, which is unlikely to happen, but a new first-party IP for Nintendo is always welcome. So those are Chariot Goblin's thoughts. I hadn't heard of Armature Studios, which has the Metroid Prime people. If they were able to announce with the NX reveal, hey, we have Armature Studios working on Metroid Prime, and we have Retro Studios working on this new IP with the history of Metroid in their studio, maybe even a Donkey Kong.
I think that it's very, very good theory because, I mean, like having a more mature title for one. It kind of seems like a PS4 or an Xbox One sort of thing. Like, the Raven Blade title sounds like something you'd see on PS4. It just sounds appealing to that kind of audience. But I also think if there's a point, that it could basically be a new sort of Metroid Prime game in a lot of ways where people are like, man, this is exactly like Metroid. Like Metroid Prime, all the best things, and it's like bringing it into a new thing that can kind of go crazy into some new areas. But a big point about it would be that I think if they came out and, said like, here's our Kirby game, here's our Mario, here's Metroid, people go, Nintendo, it's always the same thing over and here. We got our Zelda, we got our Mario. If they have Raven Blade come out, people are they have to be like, no, Nintendo's not doing the same thing. What if they did like a Splatoon 2 and like a Raven Blade and then like some other new IP, mixed in with the old classics,
Yeah.
And so, I think that would definitely make them stand out as something to be interested in. Like, man, did you hear about this new, Raven Blade thing that like nobody's heard about yet and nobody's talked about? Man, look at this. This looks really cool.
Yeah.
Instead of using the Metroid thing, which I don't think they necessarily would have to do because that could be a possible detriment, where you satisfy that Metroid audience because those are the people that are like, man, this is exactly like Metroid. Or maybe they would be like, where's our Metroid? What's this? I don't know. I think that if they did it right and appealing enough, it could just be perfect. And so I think it's a really good theory.
I may be able to shoot this theory straight in the head, though.
Okay.
I did a little more digging on Armature Studio.
All right.
Here's the information from Wikipedia. Armature Studio is an American video game development studio in Austin, Texas, and in April 2008, after completing Metroid Prime 3 Corruption in 2007 for Nintendo, former game director Mark Pacini, I don't know, and art director Todd Keller, and principal technology engineer Jack Matthews left Retro Studios to start Armature. Armature's first game was the Metal Gear Solid HD collection for the PlayStation Vita. In 2013, Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment announced that Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate would be developed by Armature as their first new work and was released for both the PlayStation Vita and the Nintendo 3DS. The third game developed by them was for the PlayStation Vita, and it was the addition of Injustice Gods Among Us. Now, the studio is responsible for porting Bloodstained Ritual of the Night to the PlayStation Vita and the Wii U. They also just wrapped up work on a multi-directional shooter that was space-themed called Dead Star. So there's your Metroid clone, which was released on Microsoft Windows and the PlayStation 4. They also did some work on the Windows version and Xbox One version both versions of ReCore. The latest kind of Metroidvania game that came out on the Xbox. Yeah. So they've been busy recently. Maybe Chariot Goblin in the comment wasn't so much inferring or implying that Armature Studio would go on to work on a new game for Nintendo. Maybe he's simply saying that they're not there anymore to work on a Metroid. That Retro Studios isn't the Retro Studios that worked on Metroid anymore. They're more so a new group. That being said, I mean, the studio has 50 employees over at Armature, and they just wrapped up Recore and wrapped up Dead Star, and so the only thing they're working on right now is the ports of Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. We could see something from them. They have lots of handheld experience, and so I'm wondering if they're working on something for the NX. You heard it here first. Thanks to Chariot Goblin. Thanks for the support. He comments a lot. We always appreciate it. But yeah, that concludes the Nintendo pipeline. We can now give it a satisfying flush and watch it all swish and swoosh and swish and into oblivion. If you enjoyed our discussion on the latest Nintendo news, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and review us on iTunes as well as other podcast services. And next week we'll discuss more Nintendo news. Hopefully any day now, the Nintendo NX reveal. I'm checking my calendar. I think it's going to be next Tuesday. I think it's October 4th is when we're going to be getting the reveal. So
I'm going to say October 3rd. Just to do a little bit different and a little bit earlier than you.
No, well, I think they're going to announce it on October 4th, along with Google announcing their new phones. I think they're going to announce a partnership with Google.
Whoa!
Or October 5th, separate.
We did talk about that, right? Pokemon Go has been with Google, so they've got that close
and
connection.
Miyamoto
like
mentioned
Pokemon
that they liked Google, and also Google's announcing new phones. And there's there's this whole idea that I think they're going to be the Nintendo Pixel is what it's going to be called, because they have Pixel Perfect Mode, and the new Google phones are called Pixel, so you do the math.
Yeah, but that'd be a little bit too much like making the Nintendo PlayStation
I don't know,
with Sony right on there, like how Sony, when that whole debacle happened, and it was just like, man, Sony just kind of put their name all over this, and it seems kind of un-Nintendo to do something like that, where you could see Google being like, stamp.
I don't know, man. Google's getting into
Pixel,
everything.
Pixel.
They're starting their tablet line. They've been doing the Chromebook. They're starting their new brand of phones. Imagine if they make it so you have the controllers, and they also love like their just Google Cardboard thing, like this idea that just your phone can become anything. Your phone becomes the VR. Your phone becomes the game. I see their mindset and their mentality for technology blending very well with Nintendo, and Miyamoto's mentioned that they like Google, so no bad blood there.
You're wrong.
I'm telling it. Okay.
You're so wrong. And I'll prove you wrong.